Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's so nice to have you all here. Tonight, my husband Anthony is going to be joining me. I'm sure some of you know him already.
Hello.
There we go. He's going to be asking questions tonight that pops up on the screen. Hi, Robin. Thank you. It's nice to have you here. So he'll be asking questions when I'm in trance, just to make it a little bit easier on me to be able to stay connected. So I am able to come forward and read the questions and so on, but it does interfere a little bit and it takes a bit longer for me to kind of step back again. So it's just more to help me with my concentration. Thanks, Robin. Hi, Claudette. There we go. Let's see who else is going to join. We're having open questions tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to step out of the picture quick and then speak and see if you guys can hear me. Okay, and then I want you to type in yes or no, because I'm going to step out, and when I'm not there, I'm going to say something, and if you don't hear me, then you obviously don't hear me. So let's find out if you do. Okay, so now I'm standing on the sidelines and I'm reading comments. Can anyone hear me? Just type yes if you can hear me, please.
And if you can't hear him, please say. Okay, Robin says loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you. All right, I'm not sure if anybody else is going to join us. But as I said, tonight is going to be open forum. That means there's no specific topic. We're also going to be adding our own questions, a few of our own questions. We have some questions about the Babylonian calendar and all the numerological portals it's opening. So as I've discussed with some of you in my WhatsApp group, there's 4 portals this month. So the first one was the 2nd of February, and the next one is the 11th of February. So 11/02/2022. So you can see the mirror effect of the numbers. And then there will be one on the 20th of February 2022, and again one on the 22nd of February 2022. And the reason it's so interesting to me is because our calendar is based on the Babylonian system, but that is not the original calendar. And the original sort of calendar is based on a 13-month system that's more in line with natural cycles. And this was brought to my attention by someone at the Southern Suburbs Market yesterday. A wonderful guy who sells crystals outside, and he had this question, so I'm quite curious about that. Just quickly, if you guys can tell me if you felt anything on the 2nd of February last week, if it affected you at all, anything you want to add about it, anything that you're curious about, or anything about how you felt, I'd love to know. I certainly felt the effects of it, so it's very interesting to find out all these different things. Okay, great. I'm glad everybody can hear. Hi, Ingrid. So nice to have you here. Okay, just going to wait to see if anybody has anything to add. And it does look like there's no load shedding yet. It's supposed to be so for those of you in South Africa, there's supposed to be load shedding from 9 o'clock to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it might affect some areas. It won't affect us here, luckily where we are. So we'll be okay. Okay, Robin says it's been a wild time since the portal. Lots of emotions. Yeah, definitely. It's been emotional. But what we need to do is just take the opportunity to just deal with those emotions and not to try and suppress them. Like, this is the best time when the energy, the frequencies are raised like this, to really deal with the things that we are struggling with, especially. And just so that you know, the portal on the 22nd of February is the most powerful one. You can see for yourself 5 twos, lots of mirror effects. Actually, yes, 6 twos. Anthony's counting on his fingers.
6, I think.
Six twos.
2,
22, 02, and then another 3. Yeah, 6. So yeah, that's quite a three mirrored 2s. So that's very powerful, strong energy. Okay, Claudette, very tired. Yeah, the tiredness affected me very, been feeling very fatigued. So especially a few days after, for me personally, it took about the next day and the day after that, I was very tired. So yeah, that seems to be a common effect. And I think the more open and aware we are, the more it affects us. So we really have to learn to ride the wave, if you like, the energy wave, because this year is full of them. It's full of them. Just the number of the years already 3 2s. So it's quite powerful. All right. And yeah, it's a powerful year of action. This is the year to say yes to opportunities. So, all right. Okay. Hi, Sudasha. Welcome. All right. I think I'm going to get started. Unless anybody has any questions for me personally about anything, you're welcome. But if not, then I'm going to get started with the channeling. I just want to, while I wait, if you can take some time to ground, clear, and protect your energy, if you know what I mean. So just ground it to and connect it to Mother Earth. And just, you can even just, you can do it, there's so many ways. So you can just ask in a prayer. You can do a little quick meditation. You don't have to be in deep trance. But it's always advisable to take care of our energy. And if you have any questions about that, you're welcome to DM me anytime you like. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, Anthony will look up for any questions.
Yes, I will.
Okay. And if you can't hear him, please tell him. Okay. All right. Hello, dear beautiful people. It is an honor for us to be here with you.
Hi. Sorry, who are you speaking to?
It is. Sorry, I came out of trance there a little bit, so I just have to get back in again. Hello, beautiful humans. It is Morowell again. I'm happy to be here.
Hello. Do you have anything specific to tell us before we start asking you lots of questions?
Well, as we were preparing and know that Michelle would be channeling, we've been listening to what you were talking about regarding the portals. And it is important for you to understand that these portals have an effect because this calendar has been followed for such a long time and by the majority of the human consciousness. This is not to say that the portal, or that this is not to say that the calendar, excuse us, the calendar, not the portal, of the natural cycles does not still have energy. It certainly does, because it is in tune with nature, and therefore it will always have an energetic signature. However, the Babylonian calendar that is followed by the majority of the human collective still contains energy, because from the time of the following of this calendar, there was a shift, and it was a huge shift, and as it grew in popularity amongst the world leaders and nations of the world, it became stronger, and that energy shifted more and more and more strongly. And therefore, the numerological dates, the numerology still has energy, as so many of you could sense and feel. Mathematics is a universal language, and numerology certainly forms part of that, and more particularly with energy. Just as names can have meaning, numbers can also have meaning. Just as visuals can have meaning, music and frequencies have meaning and energy. And do not forget that you are co-creators, and therefore what you create has an effect, a ripple effect on the whole universe. And the more souls co-create together, the stronger that effect. This is why the more people awaken and become aware, the more shifts we will see in the three-dimensional space that you live in. We will see it as well, because we watch you. We are very interested in the happenings on Earth. This is why we want to continue to help and to give answers where you may have. And really, it helps us all. It is very important for the human consciousness to realize the importance of the heart space. The heart space is like a key in your chakra system. And this is our main mission, to awaken people to the power and energy of a love force. It is the strongest force. It is the force that was used to create with initially. It was the greater consciousness, was one consciousness once, on a one-dimensional level, so to speak, but also on all levels. And it was due to the curiosity and playfulness and wonder that this consciousness fragmented and split into many consciousnesses. And more and more splits occurred as time, not time as we know it, but as the universe expanded. Not time as you know it, not time at all, actually. Time is an illusion. It is more that the universe expanded as those consciousnesses split. And the only reason why these consciousnesses split into more and more is because of the experiences that this greater consciousness wants to experience. It wants to experience all different levels. And right now, on Earth, those of you that have perspectives here, whether you're fully in three-dimensional realm or whether you're in fourth and fifth, you have the ability to use your senses and to use time as a tool. And it is wondrous. There has never been a consciousness quite like the one on the planet Earth. And as many of you may know, there has been a lot of experimentations done as well on the humans on Earth. And the whole reason why humans were placed on the Earth was to see what would happen. And so the whole universe, the whole cosmos is watching. Everyone is interested in what is happening on Earth and the choices that humans make. For a time, we were not able to connect as easily. We were not able to connect with all. But now, the energy and frequencies have been raised in such a way, and the barriers have been removed, that it has become easier and easier to reach more and more of you and really help again. The Galactic Federation has made it possible for this to occur. I, as Michelle's counterpart, am happy to take questions on behalf of the Morowell Consciousness Collective.
Great, thank you. We have one question here. What is a message for humanity at this time?
Okay. As we have said, the heart, every human's heart is incredibly important. And this is not simply, there's two parts to it. It is simply about love, but it is also about the emotions that humans experience. These emotions are key to the human experience and have taught many of us so much. One can clearly see from beings and races that have decided not to feel, to shut off their emotions, what detrimental effects that could have. However, they needed to experience that. And a lot of humans have started going in the same direction, just shutting off all feeling, just suppressing and letting it all, trying to hide it all in a little corner of their mind or their hearts. And we say to you, it is important to open your heart. For those that fear pain, emotional pain, yes, this is part of the human experience. However, when you accept this pain and just accept whatever pain you're going through and embrace it and do not resist, you will be able to release the pain and be free of it and move forward. And every single time you deal with a difficult emotion that perhaps overshadows your world, your personal world, you will be freer and more able to love yourself and love others in turn. And in this doing, in so doing, you will be able to raise your frequency. And this is truly the key. This is the main thing to understand. Many people think that this is not as important as so many other things, because many people are experiencing, more and more people are experiencing psychic abilities, are more aware of it, are more aware of their gifts and talents and energy healing and all of these things. It's becoming more and more prevalent and more accepted, even though there is still a huge part of the consciousness that denies the existence. And even though so many of the human scientists have now confirmed the importance of energy, this is an exciting time. But the emphasis on the power of love, the universal energy, is so important for this time. It's so important for every single soul, and it's so important in turn for the human consciousness, because this is truly the key in manifesting, healing, all that you need for happiness. And even though some may find it very difficult to love themselves, do understand that this is due to the effects of separation. We are all part of one, part of the greater consciousness. But on earth, when a soul is incarnated into a body, it most often does not remember its other lives or anything else that has happened to its soul. And this is a type of separation and can be very severe and very hard for humans to deal with. However, it is in the journey of searching and experiencing and finding out the truth, questioning, that humans become aware. It is in the seeking that they remember and perhaps even find their talents and gifts, become aligned with their life path. And truly that life path has been chosen by you because you wanted to experience the specific things that you wanted to experience in this life, including painful experiences. Because the idea is to overcome these experiences, to grow from these experiences, and to become a more complete, a more whole soul. And in turn, it also helps the greater consciousness, or the higher self, as some of Michelle's channeling friends refer to it. There is like an oversoul, and it helps every being that transcends, grows, and embraces their being, and will eventually come back and realize that we are all one and that we are not separate. And this is part of what will happen when you love yourself more and more, connect with yourself more and more, and get to know yourself more and more. You will become aware, not just that there is more out there, but that you are connected to all that is out there, and that we are all family. Those of us that are residing and operating, we should rather say, in higher dimensions, know this. And we do not question, we do not feel separate. We know we are one unit. And this is why we can communicate telepathically with ease. And also, because we have chosen to work through our hearts, we communicate through our emotions, and positive frequencies, higher vibrations. We communicate in all these different ways. And your heart is like a key in opening a door. Does this make sense?
Makes sense to me. Another question we have is, how close are the dark forces from being defeated?
We would like to say to you to not fear any dark forces, because they are also part of the greater consciousness. And they are on their own journey, and they chose to experience what they are experiencing. Do not fear them, do not give energy to them, do not give them any attention, and they cannot affect you. So it is not truly about dark and light being defeated, because if you can see from our perspective, you understand that it is like the yin and yang symbol that you are familiar with. There is shadow self, light self, But you are not only light and you're not only shadow. You are a whole. You are a whole being. And in a similar way, the dark forces and the light forces balance each other out to create a whole, because it is through the dark experiences, the painful experiences, death, illness, and many, many other dark and painful experiences, that you can become aware of the light. So do not give attention to wars and to different factions and to anything that separates you, because we are not separate beings. We need to unite. And anything that wants you to remove yourself or separate yourself from anything else is the work of the so-called dark forces. And they are not really dark forces, but what they do want is power, and what they do want is to control. However, each and every soul, each and every human on this earth has a choice. You might be born into this type of captivity under control. However, this is not true for every single soul on the planet. But in your discovery and questioning, you can remove yourself from that system, from that simulation, and therefore understand that this is the awakening we speak of. This is part of this awakening process. Realizing that you are not separate, realizing that you are not part of this system, that is an illusion, and that you are in control of your reality, and you get to decide what your reality should be. So if you give energy to wars, even if it is the war against crime or anything like that, you are creating segregation and separation, and not unity. So always strive for unity. This is part of love. Love does not know separateness. Love does not divide and conquer. Love just loves. I hope this answers your question. Please let me know if you need clarification.
Okay, thank you. I've got a question regarding the portals. I want to know, these portals coming in February, is there a way we can use it for our good, if that makes sense? Use it for good, instead of a lot of people saying that they've been tired after the last portal and things like that. How can we use these portals to benefit us?
These portals are very powerful in manifestational work, especially. Please do understand that manifestation does not only apply to finances or prosperity or wealth. Many earthlings seem to associate manifestation only with these things. Manifestation is also very much important for whatever reality you want to create for yourself, including relationships, health, well-being, discovery, adventure. There are so many things that you can create. And really, this is a good time to not only create these visions of the future that you would like to exist, but also to take action, because opportunities come. And this is the important thing that you need to understand. It is not only important to visualize what you want, but you also have to take appropriate action. You also have to be aware of the opportunities that you have attracted to yourself and take those opportunities. If you take the opportunity, you will be successful, especially in this year. It is a strong year. I think also, Anthony, what you would like to perhaps correct us if we are wrong, but we think what you are also wanting to know is if there's any way to bypass or to deal with the tiredness and other effects of these portals. the main thing to understand is that these portals raise energy. They are like an opening to higher frequencies. And therefore, if you're not operating at those frequencies, which the majority of the human consciousness is not, even those that are aware and awoken, it will be quite an adjustment. It will be quite a shock to your system. And this will be the case for many humans. And this is because the energy is so much higher, the frequency is so much higher than your own. So it is important to take time during these auspicious energy portals to sit quietly and just be. It is important not only to create, but to just be. First of all, be with yourself, connect with your higher self, and become aware of your energy, become familiar with your own energy. When you do this, you will already raise your frequencies because you will be connecting to your higher self, which does operate at higher frequencies because of the many lives that each individual soul simultaneously lives in. You are just currently choosing this expression because there's so much going on here and there's so much that you want to experience here. So in order to not be taken aback or affected by these portals as much, we do advise you to take care of your bodies. This is one very important way. So again, we are looking at the 4 pillars of the human consciousness: emotional, mental, spiritual or energetic, and that all of these different parts of the human consciousness, all of those different areas have to be taken care of. Follow a healthy lifestyle. Follow a healthy lifestyle where you can be as much as balanced as you can be, and also this will help you raise your frequency so that it does not have such a big effect. Those who are completely unaware, one of 2 things happens to them. They are either completely ignorant and not truly aware. However, they may still feel the effects, just not understand why they feel that way. Many people operating on lower frequencies and very low vibrations will put it down to illness and may seek a physician's help. Many will maybe put it down to poor diet, and there is a little bit of truth there. There's also a little bit of truth in the dis-ease because they are attracting that to themselves. So they might still feel the effects of it, but they will not be aware of why it is happening. But for you who do understand the effects and do understand these spiritual things, you can help yourself by eating pure and by exercising your body and by clearing your mind. Very, very important to manage your energy. And all of these physical things affect your spiritual bodies and energy bodies. And we also say it's important to find time to relax and play. Because if you do not do this, you will not have the energy to deal with the high frequencies. So it is very important to get enough sleep to also ground, clear, and protect your energy, as Michelle is always talking about. However, there are many ways to deal with energy, and it is important for each individual to do what resonates with them. For some people, they simply find a way to center themselves. This is fine as long as you are being and aware of your body. When you are fully in your body, this is also grounding. So again, many different ways. As long as you feel centered and balanced and taking care of your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, it will be easier to take advantage of the energy. And when you do feel tired, very tired, we also would like to urge you to sleep if you can. However, we realize this will not be possible for all. But at least find a way to make it more restful for yourself. If you can sleep, it is also going to have a very positive effect on you, not only in rest for your body, but in the work to continue. Many of you will receive downloads during this time. Downloads that will help you, and we would like to urge you to also set the intention before you have a nap or before you go to sleep at night, to ask your guides, your angels, your higher self, whoever it is that you would feel comfortable in connecting with, to help you in doing the work and receiving the downloads that will most benefit you at this time. Does this answer the question?
Yes, thank you. What kind of life can we expect in 5D, and how will society be structured?
The need for societal structures as you know them today in the Earth realm will not be the same. This is the reason for your question. We understand that. But for the benefit of all who are listening, please understand that the current systems that you are used to operating within will collapse at some point, one after the other. And that is simply because it cannot be upheld, especially as more and more souls awaken and become aware of their own power and their own field of possibilities and their own roles as creators. In the fifth dimension, time will not play such a big role. However, it will still feature at times, but it will be much easier to manipulate. So the importance of time falls away. It can be used as a tool when it needs to be, but for the most part, it will not be such an important thing. Time is something that really limits a lot of humans at this time, or at least it feels that way. However, as we have said before, time is a tool that can be used. And also at this time, it will be easier to connect with your different counterparts, your different perspectives that you are simultaneously living with and understanding. And therefore, the way in which society functions will be very different. Also keep in mind that as people's awareness and consciousnesses raise and as people become more enlightened and move into the fifth dimension, love energy will be much more important. Unity will be much more commonplace. There will always be factions and souls who would like to experience the darker side of energy. And it is not to say that there will never be pain or anything like that. However, people will be more in control of what they wish to, or more aware of the control of what they wish to experience. There will also be much more telepathic communication, especially as the human consciousness becomes more connected to each other and more aware of that connection. So there will be less need for the systems like monetary systems, government systems, and those sorts of things. Travel will also be greatly changed. There will also be a greater emphasis put on the earth itself, recognizing first of all that the earth is a consciousness, a being all on her own. And she's currently, as some of you may know, in the 7th dimension, a 7th dimensional being. And greater emphasis will be put on her as well and what she offers. There will also be more travel, not only within the earth, but also to other parts of the cosmos. Space travel will be much easier because there will be less and less need for using machinery. This is not to say that no machines exist, that no technology will exist, but the technology will operate much more on quantum energy and this type of energy than on fossil fuels and those types of things that you are accustomed to at the moment. Also, to understand that many humans and many species actually on the earth will not survive. And this is both sad, but it is also very necessary in order for the human consciousness, as well as all the beings on the earth, to move forward. Another thing about the 5th dimension, specifically on earth, the new earth, is that other beings will be much more willing to make themselves visible and known, and it will also be easier for people to recognize and see them, and also recognize the unity that they have. Again, understanding that some beings may not be as interested in unity as others. However, this will be much more commonplace and accepted. Is there anything else you would like to know about the 5th dimension?
I think that's all for now about the 5th dimension. I have another question that's relevant with most people's everyday lives. How does one make a choice between work pressures and being stuck due to commitments of the physical life, but not being aligned to oneself versus following alignment with one's higher self?
This is an experience that many humans are struggling with, especially those that are awakening. And do understand that every experience that you are having is not only of your creation, but also forms part of the path that you're on. So every experience that you have plays a part in your path, plays a part in where you are going or where you're wanting to go. So there are two parts. The one part is to understand that the 3-dimensional physical experiences like work pressure is a necessary one for some of you in order to learn something about your path. However, it is also important to understand that you are in control of your reality. And if this is not the reality you want to experience, then you have to change your frequency to match the reality that you do want to experience. And this is where the true, some on earth may call it magic. This is where the true magic lies. It is in matching frequencies. So again, you need to raise your frequencies and do the work that is necessary, and find the time, make the time every morning. You have to find your routines and your ways to be able to allow yourself to be and to create. If you do not find time or space to do this, you will be stuck where you are and you will keep creating your same reality. Whatever you want to manifest, whichever reality you want to manifest, we would like to urge you to always add that it would be for the highest good of all. This will include you. So this will also help you to manifest the realities that's in line with your path. So again, ask yourself always, and ask your higher self how to align with your personal path, because every single consciousness has chosen a different path to follow. And together each experience affects the whole and has an important part to play.
Thank you. I don't see any other questions from people out there. Perhaps we can come back to the portals. What can we expect from the next portal on the 11th, and then again on the 22nd in terms of energy? Like how much of each portal, I guess. I want to try and gauge how strong it's going to be compared to the one that just went past on the 2nd.
Okay. The one on the 11th, the energy signature is a little bit different to the one on the 2nd. It's not so much that it's more or less energy than the 2nd. It's just that the signature is slightly different. The flavor is different. And the energy that is available will be able to be used in a different way for different things. The energy on the 22nd, however, will be much more powerful and stronger than any of the other portals in this month. The best we can describe it in terms that you can understand is that it will have, please understand that this is just a estimation, because each human will experience it slightly differently. However, we would say on a whole, in general, on average, it will be experienced as double the amount of energy. However, please understand that it is not really the case. It is just that more energy will be available. The portal will, in a sense, be bigger. So more will be able to come through. And the opportunity to connect with other beings in the cosmos will be a wonderful one. And we would like to ask Michelle to please have a live channeling on this day, because it will be wonderful for communication. It is also a very important number, as it adds up to 6 in numerology. And for those of you who understand this concept of numerology, it is an important number for relationships and the home. So we would also like to urge you to take the opportunity on that day to really circle closer to home and important relationships. And this could include business relationships as well. So it is not excluded. However, it is more about home life and happiness and connection with each other, and of course with us. Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. And then I'm just curious, with all these energy portals that are happening now in February and throughout the year, where, I guess my question is, where, in terms of 3D physical reality, is there a source for them? Where do they come from? That's basically what I'm trying to ask.
Do you mean like a physical source?
Yes, like for instance a solar flare or something like that.
There will not be, there will be subtle visible signs, but not obvious visible signs that astronomers may look out for. The signs will be more subtle. However, many of you, especially those of you that are aware and awoken, will be able to see a lot of symbols from nature. It is a good day to sky gaze or star gaze, cloud gaze. And if you are wanting to connect with us, you may glimpse us more clearly on these days as well, if this is what you wish to do. We will always be happy. And when I say we, I'm not talking about my collective only. I'm talking about all those benevolent beings that are circling the earth and have an interest. So not only our collective, but many others are willing to make themselves known and visible to those who seek them, and those that wish no harm, and those that we wish to transcend. However, in nature itself, there will be many signs and symbols, and just also animals wanting to connect, nature wanting to connect, plants wanting to connect. So be open to the experiences. There is no particular physical presence that we can pinpoint. It's a much more global effect. Usually with a physical manifestation, there is like the ones that you were talking about, like wormholes and the like, or even spaceships, energy portals on Earth, like the one that's on Lion's Head. And there's a big portal in Zimbabwe as well, for example. Those are very much connected to the Earth itself, whereas these portals are more of the general energy, and it will be easier to access other dimensions, or rather see into them. So especially those with the sight, keep your eyes open. You may also hear messages more clearly, or feel, if you are clairsentient, feel strong energies around you. And those that are claircognizant will feel more enlightened and more, you will feel more powerful within yourself, knowing the energy that you can make use of. And really just be aware of that. And it is important to go into it with a positive mindset. Though there are many that dread what is coming because of how it affects their energy, but this will bring more of that. So please be aware that you should have a positive mindset and be excited and ready to play. We would like to invite you to play with this energy and really just to have fun with it, because this truly will also help raise your frequencies. The importance of play is often underrated by the human consciousness, and this is a very important part of raising awareness and ascension. So yes, it's not a physical three-dimensional portal as such, but rather more one within yourself.
Okay, great, thank you very much. Okay, we've got a question here. How can we better use dreams?
Dreams are absolutely a wonderful tool to use. Thank you so much for this question. There are so many ways. Dreams are a great way to visit places, whether on Earth or whether in the cosmos. So it is important that before you go to sleep at night, to set your intention how you want to use your dreams. If you want to use your dreams to work on yourself, this is possible. If you want to use dreams to travel to other dimensions and other places in the cosmos, this is possible. However, we advise you to ground your energy. If you want to use dreams to receive messages from your guides or other beings, this is possible. There are many different ways in which you can use this tool, this dream, because it is a way for you to open your consciousness and be connected. But it is about first of all, we would urge you again to manage your energy. Very important to be grounded and protected. Not protected from negative energies, but just making sure that it's only your own energy that stays within your field. And just very important, after you have set the intention of managing your energy, to also set the intention of whatever work it is that you would like to do. This is the most effective way to make use of dreams. Another important thing is to also record what you dream, especially taking note of patterns, specific symbols, or anything strange. Sometimes the subconscious is merely just trying to work things out. However, those things that seem very real, especially when you are journeying, so journeying symbols and patterns, write these down so that you can reflect on these in your waking hours. Does this answer your question?
Makes sense to me. I see there's no other questions at the moment.
What is the time?
It is now 4 minutes to 9.
Okay, if anybody has one more question, we can take one more question. Unless, Anthony, you also have one more question.
I have no question at the moment. Let's see, I have one more question coming through now. How can we deepen our communication relationship with our guides?
Oh, what a good question. The best, but not the only way, the best way to deepen your communication is through meditation and trance. Trance or journeying, as some people refer to it. Again, it is important to set your intention of what you want to do before you dream, or before you meditate, or before you journey, or before you trance. But this is truly the most important way. The other very, very important way to connect with your guides is to connect with yourself. This can also happen during meditation. However, there are many ways in which this can be accomplished. When you connect with yourself and your higher self, you become more aware of your own soul. And when you're aware of your own soul, you understand so much more and what is possible. There are also those that can help you in this process. Not only Michelle, but many others who can help you through a meditation, or through art, or through other experiences like music, sound journeys, and so forth, to help you connect with your guides. Is this clear?
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much for all the questions that have been asked tonight. We really, really love this forum and this opportunity to connect with all of you. And we would like to send you love energy and wish you all the best in your journey and experimenting and experiencing your life and your energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for speaking to us and answering our questions.
You're most welcome. Whew. Ooh.
I'll come back.
Hi, everyone. Sure. I feel like I'm still up there. Wow. Thank you so much, everybody. That was very helpful, I must say, for Anthony to be asking me the questions. I did not break trances easily. So, yeah, and I learned a lot from tonight. Thank you so much for all the questions. You guys are awesome. I'm so happy that I have such amazing people joining me every Monday night and asking all these wonderful questions. You guys rock. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.